few days after I left a phone message, Janet, the girl at the centre of the Enfield case, responded to my call. She'd never given an interview before. She agreed to meet me in a small town on the coast. As a child at the centre of the Poltergeist activity, she'd apparently had first-hand experiences that would have driven many adults over the edge. According to the stories, she'd levitated, seen objects fly around the room, walked through walls, and been possessed by a spirit who spoke through her. All that while she was a vulnerable 11-year-old trying to cope with her mother's divorce. Now she was 40, married, with children of her own, and she didn't want to be recognised, so she agreed to be interviewed if we kept her face.
Happened like levitation, the voices, like things flying around and furniture moving, being tipped over. People say that's impossible. It's just hard really for people to understand, and people would take them and say, oh, this is a load of rubbish. But when you experience it and you know that it is real, and so many witnesses, professionals on the outside have come in and actually seen things and experienced things, you know. We just don't take no notice of what the critics say now.
Janet, thank you so much for coming to meet me, because I know it's not something we've talked about in public a lot over the years at all. And I was also kind of wondering what made you change your mind.
It's my story. Yeah. Everyone else can tell my side of the story, but why can't I don't know.
Do you feel that it has changed your whole life?
Yes. And school life wasn't easy, and school and it's splashed on the front of the paper that you're possessed and you're bullied over it. It came to a point where I didn't want to go to school because of it. Then when I got there, I settled after a while, and I didn't want to come home to face the music of so many people in the house, so much going on. And in the end I became so confused, I didn't know where I wanted to be. It was strange, but at the same time it was fascinating.
Right.
It was quite scary as well, I suppose.
Did you, at the time, have any sense of what might have been going on?
A lot of it went on around me, I know that. I just felt maybe like I attracted it for some reason. Maybe my age. When I look back now, I wonder how I got through it. Some of the other incidents, levitation.
Were you conscious of that happening? Because I've heard what witnesses have said. How did it feel for you?
Strange, very strange. And frightening at the same time, when you didn't know where you were going to land always.
So you'd be aware that you'd, floated up?
Floated, and sometimes it felt like a force.
Like being thrown on?
My mum saw me rise from the bed. I just went through the blankets. When I look back now, I felt like some of the time I was in some sort of trance. And there was the episode where it's hard to explain, but I went through the wall.
Did you think that it was happening in your head, or it felt absolutely real?
Real, absolutely real. How can solid go through solid, you know? I still feel that something had a hold of me and I was possessed. I felt I was possessed because I felt used so much by the poltergeist. What else would you call it when things like this were happening and you didn't feel in control? And then there was the voices.
Let me do it. I can't do it now, right now.
Physically it didn't feel like I was speaking at all. It did feel like it was coming from back within me in some way, like it was used in me. It was very embarrassing a lot of the time because of the foul language that was used. As I see it now, something was taking me over. But why me? Why was I the centre of it all?
I think that's probably the most incredible personal experience I've ever had. And you know, the weirdest thing is that while I was listening to Janet, there was not a single moment when I doubted the truth of anything she was saying. And I suppose what's weird about it is that it is such an extraordinary story. It's filled with things that shouldn't happen and shouldn't be possible. And I believed every word of it, and I don't see how anyone could feel any different meeting Janet.